Hey, all right, Governor. How are you this week? Doing all right?
Yeah. Well, I'm slightly frazzled. I was slightly cooked over the weekend after my jaunt to the beach.
Oh,
I got
saw
caught
that.
out in the hot sun, thinking that it wouldn't affect me, and I burnt my neck and my feet and my legs.
You're looking a little bit beetrootish, like my old
Just a
man.
little bit. It's back of my neck is a bit. Look, look at the
Oh yeah,
whiteness there.
oh yeah,
But,
yeah.
no, it's good fun on the beach, and I had a nice Greek mythos to
It took me
enjoy.
back, and I think the DrayBarrels enjoyed that. That was
Yeah, I mean, I
fantastic.
was jealous of your jaunts up to the Babbling Brook or whatever it's called.
Dripping
No,
springs.
yeah, Dripping Springs, and I thought,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not going to be outdone. Not going to be outdone when he's having a bit of a jolly up. I took it down the beach, and it was well worth it. As you can tell from the video, it's a lovely day. So
It was me and Steve Knows kind of watched it together in the back of the car. We were driving to a brewery and you just released the beach thing and we were fascinated. It was lovely just talking about Game of Thrones as well and the
did you
witch
spot the
beat.
deliberate? There was on the Instagram I put, did anyone spot the deliberate mistake? And I don't think anyone has.
Do you know what? We were so consumed by the breweries, I haven't really looked at it. So what was the, can we have a big reveal right now?
Well, it was
Or
only when I watched it back that I said that the governor and his wife were on tour. And of course, it's the ref.
But haven't I done that a couple of times as well? Called you
Yeah.
the ref.
Oh,
I
it's just
think
one of
so.
those. The sun, I told you it was getting to me.
Yeah,
And I kept walking around in circles, which was making me fucking dizzy. But
it was.
no,
We were like in the back of the car. Me and Steve were like, and we were starting to feel a bit sick before we got to where was it?
well, I
Uh,
recorded. I recorded two. You see, I recorded one where I was up in the dunes, looking down on the beach, like from a fixed point. And then I got to the video and was like, cheers, like usual. And then I done that thing of forgetting to give it a rating. So I tried to add it on at the end, and I just
do.
thought, what is this thusness? It was just complete bullshit. So I got annoyed with myself, and I thought, I'm gonna just do it on the fly and have a walk round.
It was brilliant. It was nice to see you out and about, away from the garage. Somewhere different with the sunshine. Well, like me, at the
With I had it on
brewery.
my personal pole,
I am got one of those. That's one of those. What do you call them? Selfie
shelfie,
sticks.
shelfie stick.
Selfies.
I'm gonna,
Richie sticks.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna. The selfie sticks have got the more market cornered, but what about a personal pole?
I
Hey,
like it. I like it. I've never heard that phrase before.
yeah, I like whopping out my personal pole on the beach. It's fun.
Maybe not. I mean, you could patent it. Can you patent it?
Yeah, maybe.
One of
You
those.
wouldn't want to have it out too long on the beach because you might get it burnt. No one wants that.
Yeah. Yeah, like my noggin. I did that the other day, but getting your personal pole out, look out. There may
Yeah,
be a couple of comments. I thought you had a selfie stick, but you got your personal pole out.
that's
I
it.
don't like it.
That's why I have to go to the secluded part.
It's for special, special members.
Right, let's jump the show on. What's
I
going
Okay, so we normally do our usual segment called
I've got some beer news for you.
and I has actually.
Good, because it's your turn.
That's only fair. You did it. I thought you did it 2 weeks in a row, but maybe you did it once. But here we go. This is an interesting one. A Finland brewery is using goose poo to make stout beer. Poop, as they say on the article.
Oh,
So, and they have a wonderful photo of a Canada goose backside showing.
three of
So,
our favourite things there. Stout, geese, and shit.
yeah, I didn't even pick up on that. A good old honk,
Coming up, goose honk.
goose
Yeah.
honk, a bit of a gaggle, and stout. What more could
Mm.
you ask for, right? And poo. So the craft industry is known to get creative, fearlessly going where other industries are afraid to, as we found out with pizza beer, pickle beer, that mustard one, which I haven't actually acquired yet. So usually means new ways of brewing or tasty unique beers. It can also mean things getting a little weird. Yeah, that's for sure. Infusing, they talk about chicken-inspired brews or cereal brews and stuff like that. So this Finnish brewery is called a Finnish microbrewery. It's called Wasted Potential, and the Imperial Stout. Sorry, that's the name of the beer, and it's Ant Brew. So that's all I have.
So
But
what happens? They get something out of the shat then, do they?
so what it says, really, they don't go break it down too much. It does say it's very safe to drink, and it goes through a lot of screening. But the poop is used in a food-safe way to smoke malt and create a unique stout beer, according to the announcement from Ant Brew.
Well, I'll let you try that one first.
Okay, well, you're probably closer, aren't you, to Finland?
Yeah, but yeah,
I'm
I'll get you a special one.
keep one for my
You wait
visit.
for you wait for their spunk sours they're going to be knocking out. So,
Oh, good grief! We're dragging it down
it's
into the
made from good Finnish semen. You fucking sick
good
bastard.
brisk Finishman.
They eat some shit out there. They have that fermented, disgusting fucking fish in a tin that normal people around the world just completely, it's like eating puke. And they eat it as like a delicacy. It's fucking vile.
It does seem that way. Those what do you call them? Scandinavian countries are big into that, and I think there's not so you see so many cooking shows on, like going to India, going to Spain, going to Italy. Very few on the Scandinavian countries. There's a few. Rick Stein goes there now and again, but not much. You know, I have yet to see one from Yorick's neck of the woods on the Netherlands, but
Yeah.
it's basically they kind of the goose droppings are gathered from the local parks where the geese are causing messy problems. So it's trying to clean up a little bit, so they say.
Yeah. That
You know,
reminds me of there's one of the most expensive coffees in the world, if not the most expensive, is coffee beans that have been digested and shat out by foxes.
I heard that.
I mean, what sick fuck comes up with this stuff?
Twisted minds.
Picking the peanuts out of poo? Come on, in
Oh,
monkeys.
it's got to be good, isn't it, for a laugh? Or something special. We'll charge a fortune for that.
And those mugs fall for it, don't they?
They
What are you
do.
drinking? Nescafe? Oh no, I love a lovely fox shit brew followed by a goose honk shat stout. I think with these mixtures with these breweries, which is great because some of the flavors they come out with is fantastic, but the sour scene, I see it heading towards vegetable territory soon.
And how do you feel about that? I mean,
I'd love a fucking a lovely marrow
collie.
sour.
You got a collie sour.
lovely floret head on it.
We tried to mimic it, like the coffees. We tried to go for a kind of a novelty head, and we did a cauliflower.
A cauliflower Guinness.
Well, I asked Yorick. I took one of those, our Dutch friend, one of those pizza beers into work for him. And I asked him the next day, how did you feel about it? He said, I kind of like didn't, but I think if you were, because I kind of told him what I thought of it, and he said to me, if you hadn't told me that, I think I would have liked it. So we kind of put him off.
Because it's the Central European palate is maybe more refined than ours. Who knows?
Maybe, I don't know. But
then we'll be heading towards like a lovely parsley drink.
Parsley sauce.
Where does it end?
Well, if it was like my auntie's parsley sauce, it'd be very watery. So I'll go with that one. Yeah.
I like parsley sauce, but as a sour, getting into pickle territory there.
Yeah, you are. Pickles, I can understand in a lot of ways because it
Yeah,
is meant to
it's
be
popular.
sour and
Yeah, people love to taste this, don't they? So
definitely. But pizza and cheese. Anyway, Governor, give us your beer. I've given us some
I,
news.
yeah, so I've gone this week. I had one lined up, uh, which I'd got from Home Bargains, which was an IPA. But when I went on there, it was a bit of a false advertise. Uh, it's not from a particular brewery. It's like it is from a brewery, obviously, but it's like a Home Bargains fronted brewery. So it's you can't find anything out really about where it's properly brewed
Right, right.
or who does it. It's like they're doing craft beers for Home Bargains because the craft beer scene's in. Do you know what I mean?
We've had a few like that, haven't we?
Yeah, so there wasn't much information on it at all. So I just thought I'll stick that in a mini one or just say what it was like, when I have it. But they're pretty low end, to be honest. So
Okay, okay.
I couldn't be bothered to go back outside to find another one. So I just went to our indoor fridge because we've got two, one outside and my beer's in. And I've gone because yesterday was British Beer Day.
Saw that.
I've gone for a British staple, John Smith's.
Oh, yes. Wow, I was waiting until we'd have that gem from Tadcaster come up, you know?
From the Tadcaster gang.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah.
very lovely
So,
part of the world. So
yeah,
John
that's
Smith
brilliant.
is a very popular
It is.
beer over here, bitter. It's a smooth. This is a draft pour, smooth pour. It's got like the emblem for John Smith's is like a magnet, but it's also like the gateway of their brewery. But it looks a bit like a magnet on the.
Oh, I thought it was a horseshoe all these years.
Maybe
Well,
you
I
are,
got
but I think it echoes when you see the actual brewery. It echoes the gate, the famous family gate. So
got
maybe
it.
it's that.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's from Tadcaster in Yorkshire, and this is very popular drink in the UK, especially. They do
it is.
transfer it worldwide, but it's very popular. The actual brewery, the Tadcaster Brewery, was formed in 1758 and is the longest serving, oldest brewery still running, is what I meant to say, in Britain today. So it's still going. Slightly different who owns that now. But yeah, so it's
Yeah,
Smith's.
yeah, you're
The
right.
widget
Yeah.
in the tin.
I know. I love a good widget. We don't
You
see
have a
them as
listen
much
to
as we
this.
used to.
Pray silence. Let's have a listen.
Oh,
What? It's
it
like my
sounded a bit
personal poll.
sounded a bit runny, that one.
Oh, that was a good one. We can tumble in then. So let's get a pour on. I've gone for a regular glass. I love to drink bitters out of a glass like this. If I had a Smith's one, I would have poured it in that, obviously, but just gone
Yeah.
for the plain.
Okay.
Much like a Guinness can, as the ping pong widget inside to create the rush and give you the nice pour on the head at the end, even pour. So you've got to wait for the settle. It's just
Yeah.
under a pint.
Well, this is classified as like a bitter, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's well, they call it an ale, but
Yeah.
it's a bitter. It's a proper English bitter. Sell them in every pub in Britain, pretty much. You get
They
a
do.
Smith's. We're going back to our rugby special back in March or February, whenever we did that. I've done the other beer, which is like its rival, which is the Tetleys.
That's right.
A good working man's drinks, proper.
Yeah, it always just reminds me of the North, the John Smiths and you obviously remember the old Peter Kay John Smiths adverts, right? He
Yeah,
used to do.
before the John Smith, John Smith's is a very rich history with the draymen of the world, of course, delivered by Shire horse and cart for many years.
Yeah, so it's kind of
So
going
there we go.
along.
There's my
Okay,
one.
get a taste on.
So it's a light. I mean, my light in here, this end, but this is actually a pale type of bitter. That looks really dark on camera,
Yeah,
but it's a lot paler from where I'm sitting.
yeah.
Head on it. I mean, really, it's almost like it looks like a black Guinness, but it's not.
It's
It's
pretty
pale,
dark.
isn't it? Just I got the light, so. Oh, there's a certain scent to a Smith's. Oh, lovely. Here we go.
Oh, it's been a while for me.
Lovely. Very lovely. And before you open yours, it's a light bitter. It's like I said, it's served in the pubs. The reason that I think that they're so light compared with some of yours over there is because they want you to drink more of them before you become drunk.
Sensible. Get some money.
So
I
that's
thought of that.
well, it's only a light beer. You know, we don't. It doesn't cause problems or doesn't cause people to be drunk. Well, no, not if you have one or two. But if you're not drunk, you're going to keep drinking and the money's going to keep coming in. Old Johnny Smith from the 1800s, he had it on, didn't he? Anyway, so it's a 3.6%.
Oh, okay.
One of the lowest ones I've done recently, but
Yeah. Man, that's not
and
gonna
some
last
drinkable
long.
beer. So
That's
what
not
have
gonna.
you got? What have you got for us,
Oh,
referee?
okay.
What's the
So,
Texas Taff got in his satchel this week?
so I did kind of make a little bit of a promise, if you recall last week, that I would do a stout this week.
Yeah.
So for all you P. Lewis's out there, all you Philip Evans, the Man Mountains out there, I am doing Prairie Artisan Christmas Bomb. I'm doing a Christmas beer, of all things, a Christmas stout. Imperial stout brewed with spices in
Bless.
June.
Just a bit of background, DrayBarrel, before he cracks it open. As he said, he had a nice bit of sunburn the other week when he was planting some pampas in his front yard or something like that. And this week he's had no air conditioning, and I think it's muddled his brain.
Well, I went to the Growler Exchange this today for the coach's birthday. Me and him went for a lunchtime drink, and I said I promised I'd do a stout, and he pointed this one out to me. He said, "This is fantastic. I always try and get it for the guys around Christmas, but they've got them on all year round, so why not? You know."
Oh, you bought that this afternoon?
I did. So it was. I had one lined up. I'm going to keep that for another day, and I thought, let's just do this today. So I picked
Yeah.
it up
Well,
today.
happy birthday before we go any further. Oh, actually, no, I'll let you pour it and we can do a
Oh,
cheers.
okay, we'll do a cheers to the coach. He is supposed to be joining us on one eventually, but he's had a lot going on right now. So he did promise me he'll be soon. So there's my pour. It's not a full one because it's 11. Is it 11%? No, 13%.
Oh, fuck my old boots. On top of those few pints you've had this afternoon.
Oh, look out! Look out!
Oh.
And it does smell of Christmas, like mince pies and stuff like that. I can smell those spices filtering through. So Christmas in June, right, Barrels? But anyway, before I sap, let's have a cheers to the coach.
Happy birthday, Mr. Coach.
Happy birthday, Mike Burns. Cheers.
From the ref, the governor, to the coach.
To the coach. There you go.
Happy
We'll see you
birthday.
soon for a bit of shenanigans, that's for sure.
Yeah, when we do that one, we've got to have a three-way split. So on the old Instagram, it would be a third.
Definitely, and
But
that's what
otherwise, if you two of you are next to each other, I can handle you having a drink with the guy, but in your flat, I think, hang on, there's something going on here.
I wanted, and that's what I was thinking. If two of us, and I think it'll just be more fun to do a three-way split screen, right? And yeah, it might be a bit shorter because these Zooms kind of cut you off a little bit if you do three-wayers. I enjoy a three-wayer, don't get me wrong, every now and again, but it's always pretty quick, isn't it?
It's pretty quick, you know. Our other third wheel, another guys that we do are separate from the drayman. He likes an excuse. He gets dressed up for it, doesn't he? He makes the effort, but for him, he likes to get his business done within 15 minutes and move
super
on.
fast. Yeah, he's too quick off the mark for our liking. We're a bit, as draymen are a bit slow, steady kind of gentlemen in a way, and we take our time. You know, we work it a little bit, but yeah.
You've either got something to say or you haven't.
I guess so. Anyway, Good. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. You actually wouldn't think, I'm honest here, I would not think this is 13% at all. That's how smooth that is. Just a traditional stout. It's not too thick. And it does taste of Christmas. So,
Oh, wow.
and almost like gingerbread a little bit as well, kind of a sweet. It would be good as a dessert one, like we talked
Any
about last week.
Brussels in there since we were talking about vegetables earlier? A few Brussels for Christmas?
I don't know. That's a good idea. Hey, if Martin House, you could be missing a trick here. Brussels
Yeah.
sprout for Christmas, eh? What about that? A Brussels sprout stout.
Who's that? Who's the brewery behind this one?
Oh, so this is Prairie. If you recall, DrayBarrels, a couple of weekends back, a couple of podcasts back, I did one on this podcast called Weekend. And with all those little guys walking along, the cartoon one.
Oh, the YMCA one. Yes.
Yes, the YMCA, and it's the same people, and you can kind of tell a little bit by the artwork, kind of a little
Yeah.
bit Simpsons.
Father Christmas, Mrs. Christmas. Oh,
Oh
lovely.
yeah, you know, and where are they out of Oklahoma, I believe, and I talked about Oklahoma City, so I'm not going to go
Yes.
into too much detail.
I recall now.
It
I
harkens,
recall.
it harkens back like the fireside of your. Oh, let's not go down that road again.
I enjoyed that. I think we should just do one off camera,
We
just
should.
talking about shit like that.
It'll be in the what do you call it? The uncut segment, straight barrels.
It'd be DrayMens Law.
Hmm. Go down in legend. So
So let
yeah,
me give you a bit of this. Let's have a
okay.
little whiff of Smith's.
Yes, please.
John Smith's Yorkshire Smooth Ale.
Hmm.
Talked about Yorkshire a lot. Biggest county in Britain. Proudest county in Britain, I think.
Seems.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, they're very, very proud stock, proper, no nonsense type of people. And Tadcaster is a small sort of town, if you like, which is just northeast of Leeds and sort of halfway between Leeds and York City, which is just called York. And so it's on the southwest of York. So it's pretty much in between the pair of them. And Tadcaster, like I said, is a small town, but it has 3 breweries.
Samuel Smith,
They are
right?
they are within half a mile of each other. So 3 big breweries. You've got a Coors Brewery.
Yeah,
You've got the Samuel Smith Brewery,
yeah,
which is the Tadcaster Brewery. Get to that in a minute.
yeah.
And we've got the old John Smith's, which has moved over and is now actually a Heineken factory because Heineken have taken over the running of John Smith's to send it global. So they're all within a short space of time. So if you was in Yorkshire, what a place to visit. Especially if they've all got a tap room or a pub. You could have just the three breweries, and there's a few pubs in the town as well. But no, big brewery place in the middle of England, if you like. As I said earlier, the actual Tadcaster Brewery was set up in 1758, but in 1824, John Smith was born. And he was quite a talented young fellow, done a lot of different things. And in 1852, at the age of 21, which doesn't actually correlate on their website, but that's what it says, because he's actually 31 or something like that. Anyway, when he was young, a young man,
A whippersnapper of a lad.
he bought his own brewery and put his family name on the gate, and history was made.
Wow,
And
that's
just
young.
put, John, and then he just called his beer John Smith's.
Which was,
He
bit
what are you going to call
simple.
it? John Smith's.
He
You
bit
can't
straight.
argue that. He beat our mate Darch to the punch there.
Oh, definitely.
And then in 1886, his nephew, Samuel Smith,
Oh,
Yeah, they are related. Set
mind
up, took
blown.
over the Tadcaster Brewery, releasing Samuel Smith beers, which you're a big fan of.
Yeah, I've
And
reviewed a
they're
few.
still going now, and they're the oldest running independent brewery in the UK.
Got you. Yeah.
Um, without there's no big conglomerate behind them. So yeah, they interesting place. If I get it, if
I am shocked. I did not know this until this moment. That's a big reveal, Dre Barrels. A big reveal. Gosh.
let me just see. There's a quote that I wanted to say. Here we go. So it says, "Welcome to John Smith's. This is where we champion everyday, ordinary folks that are actually anything but, because we know that these guys, just like our beer, are only ordinary by name."
Oh, I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. How old is that quote then? Because it's a pretty old brewery. I
That's
mean,
it's a few. I mean, he the only ordinary beer name was a John Smith quote himself.
yeah, wow.
So,
Is so is the brewery itself still run in the family? I mean,
but
that's
look,
kind
there
of.
you go. If I hold that up on screen, can
Oh,
you
there
see
it
that's
is.
the gateway, the Tedgas, the gateway, which looks like to me
It does.
echoes the magnet type thing on the front. So
Not
maybe it
quite.
is.
Maybe a little, but not 100%. It's a bit skew on the can, if anything.
Mm.
So it's more of a magnet, I think. But hey, probably. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe they did it that way. Maybe they just utilized that gate image and just made it their own on the can, as artists do on these cans and stuff like that. But
Maybe you're right.
wow, so it's I got to be honest, I'm pretty shocked by that. I did not know this, and I've talked about Samuel Smith's a lot as well, and that mind blown. Now it's interesting, John Smith's, you can't I think I found it once over here. It's very hard to find. I've only
Mm.
really had it over in Britain a lot. Samuel Smith's, you can find them all over the place here. So
It's strange. I think that the difference between the two is Samuel Smith's got a bigger range. Like the beers for John Smith, you've got draft in a can, which is the what I've got, the smooth pour, or you've got original without the widget, and then you've got the cask on tap. That's it.
just
Right?
limited.
Yeah, they're not fucking about with anything else. And the reason that they're so successful with just those two mainly, because the cask is pretty much the same, is because it's a recipe that people like.
Like
They don't need to tweak it and fuck about with it. And it's always there. It's not like beers that we talked about before, where you drink certain beers in the 90s and whatever happened to them. And like I said to you, I found a couple of cans of Red Stripe and things, and I hadn't seen them for years. But back in the 90s,
yeah,
loads of people were drinking them all the time. But with Smiths, it's always the same.
always there.
Yeah,
It's like
always in every pub.
yeah, like woodpecker cider. You don't really see that, and I always remember back in the day, and maybe
Yeah.
even before the 90s, that was all over the place.
Uh,
But you don't see that anymore. I did
no.
see Beck's the other day, incidentally, which I hadn't seen in a little while.
Hmm.
But I get a big beer in the 90s. But it's kind of going back to that thing. I did that Brazilian beer, Xingu, the other day, and they only do the two beers, the
Yeah.
golden one and the black lager, and that's it. There's nothing else, and they've been going since the 80s.
Yeah.
So it's
Sometimes
like
they spread, sometimes they panic, these breweries, and start spreading themselves a bit thin, trying to bring out all these things. And
definitely
sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, and it's just one of those. I
it
mean,
is.
Guinness, they have got other ones, but if you ask Joe Ordinary on the street, um, they probably wouldn't know the name of their lager. It's one of,
Yeah, so you're right.
but it's this beer itself is nice tasting. Like I said, it's light. I like it. It is a proper British drink.
Definitely.
It's a
Definitely.
bitter, but it's only a slight bitterness at the end. It's just a pleasant drink. It's malty as you'd expect. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's a bit of caramel flavour there, but otherwise it's just a nice
It's a good
low
standard.
level drink.
Yeah.
Go down a pint, few pints, few games of darts, games of pool, something like that. It's a standard drink, you know. And I used to drink a bitter a lot. When we went out, I'd drink Guinness, or if I weren't drinking Guinness, I'd drink bitter over lager. I changed, didn't I? It was always
You
lager.
did. You did. Yeah, you're right there. It was always the bitter or the Guinness. And I tell you, this is kind of interesting as well, is like we talk about John Smith's, and I can't really find it over here. What you can find over here a lot, similar kind of vein, is the Boddington's Pub Ale.
Yeah.
Now, you find that everywhere, and I've had a lot of Boddington since being here. And Newcastle Brown Ale, incidentally, that's very readily available, but it seems like the John Smith's hasn't really travelled.
Boddington's is on the same line as this.
Definitely.
Same. It's very low. It's under 4%,
Mm,
and that's a nice creamy Manchester drink. It's
yeah,
lovely. But
beautiful.
yeah, it's representing. I suppose when you've got like Manchester and Newcastle, they're the bigger cities around the UK, and people have heard of them from America.
Yeah, no, that
And
makes sense.
that and around the world, and something like Manchester, the football teams, and Newcastle, they've got fans all around the world, like manic fans. So they would drink beers associated with their football club or from that town.
That
But
makes sense.
Tadcaster, they have got football and they have got like rugby teams, but it's a smaller place, so you can
Yeah.
understand really. But
And it's like the other big one, which is notorious in history for craft beer enthusiasts, is Burton-on-Trent, because that's where the first IPAs came from, and that's kind of I don't know if you've been. I've been there once, and there's a bunch of breweries there as well. Burton Brewing. There's also the bigger ones, like there's a big Coors factory or something there as well. So there's a few little breweries, but that's where IPAs were invented apparently. So that's a small place, That's not a well known. It is in craft beer scenes, but if you said to the Joe Blogs down the street, Burton-on-Trent, they wouldn't know. It's
and like
just
when I said about Bakewell, I
Bakewell.
was talking
Yeah,
about one of the breweries there, and I think there's two breweries in that little place, and
that's
then of course you
tiny.
had the Bakewell tart as well, all came out of the
Crazy, isn't it? These
same
little small
little,
places.
yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
But incredible. So what else
All
about
right.
your one
So,
then?
yeah, I've talked about this brewery before, but I'll give you a little spiel, just to refresh the Dray Barrel's minds. I was going to say the Draymen's minds, maybe both. The Draymen's, the Dray Barrels, the wandering Drayman, wherever he is. Apparently, there's a delivery on its way to me today, but
Oh, is it? Oh,
he's been
right.
out again.
Watch
So,
out for that storm. There's a storm coming over here
oh, are
near
you
it.
getting one? Oh,
Yeah,
we had one.
they're talking about a big thunderstorm any time now. And it started to rain a bit, so
You need it. You don't get I think we get more storms than you because it's so bloody hot all the time. But
you don't
I
get
know
stormsy though, do you? You don't get stormsy.
you don't get that Stormzy music. Is my favorite. I like to download the Stormzy,
Yeah.
if you know what we're talking about. But hey,
Man,
sorry,
shut up. Man, shut up.
I've never listened to Stormzy in his life. Apparently, Alan Bennett likes him. But anyway, welcome to the world of Prairie Artisan Ales. Like I said, they're out of Oklahoma. Is it Oklahoma City? So
Yeah.
it's a company started by two brothers, and they didn't start it to the lack of good beer or whatever people like to say in the part of their website. We want to do something that was awesome. We have talent.
Oh, I remember those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to really go on much about them. They have one brewery and a tap room in Oklahoma City, and they do distribute worldwide as well. I don't know if you've seen any over there, but they are distributors over in the UK and Europe and places like that. So
Yeah,
they
probably.
are getting. It's a pretty big brewery. You're always finding Prairie beers wherever you go. Um, but yeah, it looks pretty good. If I'm ever in Oklahoma, I'll check them out, obviously. And they are open every single day. Nothing going on, no events right now. Uh, Website's okay. There's not much about their history, I'll be honest with you. I think I talked about this before, but you can kind of look at the tap room and just check out the beers that they have on tap. I kind of like that, you know. It's when we went to some of the breweries in Dripping Springs, we kind of looked at the website beforehand just to get a little idea. And obviously, you saw I went to what was the brewery I went to and had the did you see that? I had the Welsh summer beer.
Yeah,
So that was kind of
saw that. That's
interesting.
bizarre in the middle
Oh.
of Texas, and they got a Welsh beer on.
I know that was kind of funny. The beers they weren't great. They were okay. But it's a new brewery. It's only 8 months old, so they're just establishing
No, they
themselves.
looked impressive little places. I did enjoy those brief little skits, get a flavour of the place. You know,
I did kind of
I haven't yet been to any of these ones that are open around here, but eventually I will. They're
one
on a
thing.
much smaller scale here. Like
Well, that's what I was
they
going to
say,
say.
they've
One
got a
thing.
tap room. The ones locally I'm talking about, not around the cities because they've got proper big old things, but locally it's like they've got like 2 tables and a bump, and that's there. You know what I mean? But you know, we got to go to them, we got to experience them, and they're local to me. So eventually, I will
Definitely.
get out to see these guys and try and get a bit of a chat going like you have in the places you've been to.
Yeah, just kind of talk to the owners, and I would say this for them: they're always welcoming, and they always like the promotion. So you just kind of, I go up, and we've got a bit of a blog going on, got a bit of a podcast, and they're just so friendly. These
Did
people,
they give you a free drink?
No, but we got free stickers.
Oh, wow, it's got
So
stickers. Oh,
yeah,
right.
we did
Right
get some
on.
free stickers for our fridges, me and Steve knows. So it was kind of cool in that respect. So, um, but yeah, and one thing is, you got to understand where you are, your neck of the woods. It's kind of off the beaten track a little bit. So there's
It's
not as
dog,
much,
dog
right?
legs out. But I think you going back to, have I seen those craft beers over here? Well, no, I haven't. But we've
No,
gone through that before
we
where
have.
I am a bit out there. We have got a craft beer shop, but it's limited, it's small, and I have to order things in. But if I go up to Bristol, Cardiff, or well, I'm actually going up to Birmingham this year, but if I go to
Oh,
London, I'm going to Google the biggest craft beer shop in the city because undoubtedly there are of them,
oh,
and
you could stock up.
I'm going to enjoy going into them and stock up, and because I like to, I do buy things on the internet. Everyone does, but I do like to pick up and peruse the aisles. Compare
Definitely.
and contrast. You know,
Well, yeah, and we do want to kind of, when we come over in 2023, it seems a long way off, but it'll soon come round. We are going to make a point to go to the Fuller's Brewery in London. That's
mm,
kind of top of the list. It's pretty well known globally.
yeah, it's one of my favourite looking places. I've driven past that building probably 40, 50 times, something like that. We
Yeah,
don't stay very far when we stay up in London. Well, we stay in a few places, but if we stay about 2 miles from there, not very far at all. So good, little bit more than staggering distance, but not very far away.
that's
But I
running
might just go
distance.
this year. I might just go to Gazump, you guys, do
You,
the whole fucking tour, just completely spoil it.
me and Steve
Have it
knows would
all
be
the way
like,
from. Yeah, exactly.
hey,
He
it's plenty in London anyway. So, and obviously you'll be with us for a couple of breweries when we come over there in couple of years' time. But we try to find out these breweries. We're trying to source different breweries, and obviously I've been a bit ahead of the game because things are much more open here. And you got to understand, you guys are still in some kind of slight lockdown, right? It's not fully open right
extended
now.
it, yeah,
See,
extended
so
it another
it,
month. Um, the pubs are open, but you have to be seated, partitioned,
yeah,
table service only. and they were hoping that on the 21st that was going to be completely lifted, but they've extended it by 4 weeks because of this Delta variant that's popped up, and just to try and get a lot of young people to get their first dose, get them all dosed up. Makes sense, really.
It
And the
does.
pubs aren't shut, they're open.
Yeah.
Things like theatres and the full opening of being able to stand at a bar again. It'll be bizarre, it'd be weird.
It is weird, and the shocking thing has been for probably the last month for me is going into places and not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Probably 3 weeks, I would say. I still take mine, I keep it in my pocket, but probably this last week for sure, I haven't worn my mask once, and it's just strange. It's strange, but it's a happy strange, you know? It's like...
I mean, the job I'm working now, the job I had, I come to a close, working for the COVID thing. I do have to wear a mask when I visited people in their homes, PPE and all that. But it was like for maybe an hour, and then I'd drive to my next appointment, and it was on and off all day. But the job I've got at the minute is in this one place, just in a particular building, and I have to wear it permanently the whole day. And it drives you mad wearing it the whole day.
Yeah.
Especially when it's been hot as it has been the last few days.
Oh, bloody
fine in the winter. Wearing a mask in the winter is quite nice because it kept your face warm and stuff like that.
Especially in the cold of the West Country. Yeah.
Oh, those winds. I can hear it now, actually.
Oh, the wisping of the wind. Oh, it takes me back.
When the north wind doth blow, then we shall have snow, and I'll tip my winkler all the way home.
You're doomed. You're doomed. Anyway, I'm just going to list a couple of beers before we get into our other bit on these guys, if you don't mind. Bomb is the big kind of standard one. So this is the Christmas bomb. So they do actually one is just called Bomb. It's readily available, but that's 13% as well.
I don't fuck about today.
No, and it's weird. I went to the Growler Exchange today for Mike's birthday. We just had a couple of pints in lunchtime, and
get a room. Fucking hell, already talked about it. Get a room.
Get out, man. But no, I was the barmaid there was. I talked to her briefly, and she was talking about a friend that she has living in Belgium, and the friend is always shocked how high the ABVs are over here because Europe in general don't have that strong a beer.
Right. I mean, we talked about Gold Label being, and that is a mini bottle. There's less in that than a stubby fucker.
Yeah,
and that's about 10.5%, and people go, oh.
Jeez.
And if you were drinking like what they call special brew over here, that's what 8.5%,
something like that, isn't it? Yeah, it's very.
It's like that tastes like a fucking tramp's fucking pants. Awful stuff.
I can just imagine a Glaswegian just swigging that back, you know.
Oh, that in Glasgow they would have the Super Tenants.
Oh, it is the Tenants Extra, right?
Super Tenants, yeah.
Tenants Extra, I'd be buggered. And all right, so they do a Phantasmagoria, which is an IPA. That's 8%. Talking about that, that's on the same level as what was Tenants? I can't remember what Tenants is. But probably around
about the same 8.5%, 9%.
Yeah, but I don't know the price range. And they also do a wonderful sour by the sound of it. I think I talked about this before, called Rainbow Sherbet. That sounds nice. Oh, you'd like that. Maybe I need to bring one over next year when I come over. I think we may be January or something I'm coming, but yeah. So yeah, and Weekend, which I had previously. So that's the beers they do.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? Lovely old job that.
It is, and it's actually I was talking to Steve Knowles this weekend, and it's actually his favorite brewery. So there you go, Steve. I can see why. But
good man, Steve.
Yeah, how are you doing on your pint? Because we could be at that time again.
Yeah, maybe in a second I'll be there.
Okay. Well, okay.
Yeah, I think what the fuck,
Mac? Are you back? What happened?
Fucking, are you back on?
Oh, yeah, we're recording. What the fuck?
Power cut. I told you a storm was coming. Fucking hammered down. It's been, how long was that? 25 minutes or something.
I think so. I think it was, yeah.
Suddenly, everything went. Then, of course, the internet went, the router,
Oh, shit.
and
And
it's
I have,
stopped now.
and now,
Fucking thunder. I can hear it. It's moving. Excuse me, moving away. But I thought, oh,
gee,
DrayBarrels are not going to have a good bloody time because they won't get me again. But it's back on now.
we're trying to be more streamlined Dray barrels where we actually pause it rather than chop it together and hear a bunch of shit in the background and chop it together. But do you know what's throwing me here, Governor? I don't know where we ended, so can we still make it an hour? I kind of do, but I think we probably only have like 10, 15 minutes left.
Well, I think we've given enough on our beers. I think it's that.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
we probably
I've got to get a prop for this.
okay. You got a prop, and I will find our usual segment, Dray Barrels. Oh, it's not exciting, if anything, but you know what the usual score is.
Oh, it's Dregs of the Week.
Yeah, we better get on with it in case it cuts the bloody power again. So my dreg of the week, I've been trying to think of something that was a bit different.
All right.
My dreg of the week is the letter D.
Were we on Sesame Street?
No, well, I've got the golden D of the drayman here just to illustrate what I mean. Now, the alphabet, the English alphabet that we all know and love and use, some of us in the correct manner, some of us just invent words. But all of the things, we have a small letter and then we have a capital letter, as illustrated here by the golden D of the drayman.
Right.
The capital D isn't correct.
What do you mean?
Well, if you have a B, I mean, I can't do it because it'll come out reverse on here. If you have a letter B,
yeah,
you start with a straight line, you head out in front of you, and then if you want a capital B, you do another one on top, right? If you have a C, you have a small c, and then a huge, great C.
Yeah.
If you have an E, you have like a hook, but then the E goes in the same direction. If you have a D, you start with a circle and then a line, but then the actual capital D faces the opposite way.
What do you mean?
The small d faces to the left,
Okay.
and the capital D faces to the right.
You're right.
It's not right. We should be having this should then become this.
So B would be like this, and B is that way, and D would be like this, and then the other D is that way.
Correct.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
It's a dreg. Right, yeah. And guess what? A small dreg or a big dreg gets on my net. It gets on my tits because they're different.
I'm trying to think. Sorry if there's a bit of noise in my right now, and that could be my drag, but my child is a wild child and he's making a bit of laughter in the background. Deal with it, Dray Barrels. You know the score. But
you should be dealing with it.
Yeah, I'm having a word here. You sunshine.
Hey, monkey.
Hey, monkeys. Hey, monkeys. Hey, look, we're parents, and that could be my drag, but it's not going to be my drag. But no, I'm just trying to think if there's... Have you gone through the entire alphabet and investigated this? Is there another letter? A. What about A, though? A is like this.
No, because A then splits.
So A isn't really going one way or the other, is it?
No, not in a capital A, no. But okay. No, there isn't. I don't think it's like having an F and you go in one way with an F, and then on a capital F you go the other way. It wouldn't. But a D gets away with it.
I like your thinking as a drag. I like your thinking. That's I've never ever even thought about that in my life. Where does it come from? Where did it originate from? This drag.
It originated with me looking at the word drag and thinking I haven't got one that's different to road rage or ultra violence. And then I thought, oh, hello, the D's ran the wrong way.
Maybe we need to mix up these drags a little bit. I'm going to start thinking outside the box a little bit from now on.
Going grammatical.
What is my drag about this bottle, you know? I think my drag about this, but no, I'm not. Okay, I've got a drag actually about that bottle, but
So it's a bit of fun this week. Exactly what you've picked up on. I thought, let's do something a bit random. The letter D.
I like it. I like
It's
it.
a rogue.
Yeah, it's like a rogue.
I'll do what I fucking want, Alphabet.
It's like a rogue comet coming through, right? Let's just throw it out there. My drag's a bit boring. Well, it's not boring because it was a source of annoyance for me.
Well, that's what it's about. So what was it?
It was the AC packing in our apartment, and we're getting into the height of summer in Texas. So it was like 30. Our AC unit here we're dependent on it. We're in a third floor apartment right now. House is being built and all that, but we have to suffer all the heat rising, as you know. And yeah, it was just pretty crazy. And they put in a new AC, but the drag was we had to move out of our apartment for a night at a hotel, which cost God knows how much. My wife has expensive tastes. But there we go. But yeah, it's just like, it's not something that's a problem really in the UK, right? AC isn't so big.
And he means air conditioning for people that are thinking it was half of AC/DC, just to make sure.
Sorry, I've become an
We're not all
Americanized.
dudes from Texas, man. We're not all making our fortune searching for oil like you are. Some of us need to know what the terminology is.
Yeah, you're right, and I apologize for that. But yeah, AC units, air conditioning. I think Steve Wright sometimes calls it AC units. So there's probably not much of an excuse there, but we do abbreviate.
Oh, for our middle-aged listeners, they'd know exactly what you're talking about there.
But for I guess like Americans abbreviate everything, like the Welsh, we abbreviate or shorten names down so much, All right, Mac. All right, Matt. The kind of thing. So I'm like, Mac. But yeah, it was just
Damo.
Damo. That's not very short, is it?
Shorter than Damien.
That is very true. And that's a drag as well. People call me Marcus all the time here in Texas. Call me Marco. So we're on a roll.
Who's this fucking Marcus? Oh, it's oil. You should be going under your third guys, the Mako.
All right, Mako. Oh shit, then you're in trouble.
You got any petroleum or gas?
My very wealthy twin brother. Do you know what? I looked that up and I could not find Mako. What happened to it?
It's still going. It's one of the because you had Mako and you had Mirko.
Or maybe I did. I forgot about him. We disowned him after he made the millions of Mako.
Yeah, I mean, when your mum, she had Mako, Marco.
Whatever.
Mirko.
Mirko, that's right. We were triplets. I was the only successful one in the family.
Wow.
And then we had Ollie, but there we go. What went wrong?
Ollie, he's actually more shaped like a barrel than us DrayBarrels.
You could roll him down the hill, and he's more redder than the governor is right now. I'll tell you that for nothing.
He is. He's lobster-esque.
He is in nature. But anyway, that's my drag, and you've had your drag. Are we going to rate our beers or what?
Yeah, I'm going to sink this here now. Smith's is a standard. John Smith's, the smooth port, as I've explained, is a standard of the British pub culture, pub scene. You can go in any pub and find a nice John Smith's. Because of its stellar quality of brewing and also its longevity in the British pub scene, I'm going to go for a 9.
Wow.
It's a staple.
Shit.
It's a staple of Britain.
Yeah, and we talk about, and especially now more than ever, as a British
And it's
trademark
one I
around
go
Europe,
to. Yeah, I'll go to it if I had it in
the
the pub.
go-to.
You know, I
It's a
do try
go-to.
to go for a local ale in a pub if I can, like such as Exmoor or Dartmoor Ale around here or wherever I am. You know, a nice clam baden brew or
Yeah,
an Abbot Aaron Ale, one of those. But if not,
peer
if I haven't
pressure.
got anything, I'll have a Smiths. I'll have a Guinness. I'll have them. You know, they are more mainstream, if you like, but I
You
know what I'm
lot,
going to get if I want to have a nice pint, and I know what a Smiths is going to be. Boom, there we are.
definitely. It knocks
Go for a
stock
9.
and nine from the governor, and it knocks lock, stock, and two smoking barrels out of the park. And it probably costs a little bit more as well, but you paying for quality there. But no, that's fantastic. John Smith's. I always make a point when I get back to the UK to have one. So cheers to that. Christmas in June. Fantastic, spicy. I really enjoyed it. It does taste like you could be having a mince pie or something like that, which is right. I may have to re-review it when we do our mini ones come
Oh,
Advent. Why not?
The Advent stout, yeah. Why
Yeah,
not?
it's coming, DrayBarrels. So it is going to be an 8 from.
Oh, prepare yourselves. It's still 6 months away.
I've started early.
I'm going to wait.
All right, so it is an 8 from me.
Oh,
Good
nice.
quality. It's not a thick stout by any means, but it's a tasty stout. It's just your normal standard stout that we've talked about. So,
Couple of good
okay,
beers this week then.
we've had some fun this week. Grey
Yeah.
Barrels. We had power cuts. We've had some good beers. We've had a fantastic staple of British culture, and we've had a good Christmas ale. So
that's a lovely week's work. Watch out for the. I'm not sure where you're going this weekend. If you've got a chance to do a bit of filming anywhere else, I don't know what's happening with us.
quiet one this week. Quiet one.
I
Yeah.
might go somewhere and get my personal poll out and see what I can find.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the personal pole again. I couldn't quite see it on the filming, but I've heard it's pretty good. So, all right, I will look out for that, and I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm doing, but
Well, I'm sure something will crop up.
yeah,
Always a bit of fun.
we'll
Anyway,
get a
have
couple
a
of mini
nice rest
ones.
of the week yourself, and good luck to everyone out there, and have a lovely drink, all you Dray Barrels, and we'll see you next week.
Ta-ra, enjoy your Euros, folks, and we will see you next week. Ta-ra.